Hey guys, James here today and welcome to another house building video. This is another one again on Seaward Walk. This is number 7 Seaward Walk, and this is a much larger, much more extravagant home than any of the others so far on this road. Basically, this area is designed to sort of be a sort of a family-centric area, sort of nothing too fancy. This is it's quite a regular sort of, well, a similar styled home from the outside, but it's very sort of fancy and upper market on the inside, and it's quite I don't know, I'm very, very happy with it. This is the first part of a 2-part build because the video is just so long that I decided to break it up into two parts. This first part is all building, and then tomorrow's part, the next part will be up tomorrow. Tomorrow's part will be all furnishing, so you'll get to see that then. Anyways, we're starting. I've just measured out how far down on the cliff I need to build a lot, because I want to have 2 levels sunken into the cliff and 1 above the cliff area. As you can see, that's what I'm doing here. I also left, you'll see in a bit, I left a lot of space in the cliff area that is just not used, so it's very easy if you want to expand space underneath the house. The only downside with that is that there obviously won't be any windows to the outside because it's very very dark under the house, but if you need more space, you can always add it on quite easily. So yeah, that's what I'm just sort of messing around with all the basement stuff now. I wasn't originally going to have so much extra space, but there you can see I've just added it in. At the moment, it's a big square, but you'll see it develop as time moves forward. And just sort of sculpting the edges of the lot there, adding the foundation. You'll see how it all comes together. Now, if you're wondering how I did this and how I built on a cliff lot like this, I do have a couple of tutorials that are all about building on cliff lots. There's one that is how to build on a cliff lot, and then the second one is how to build, I think, multi-story homes on a cliff lot, which is the follow-up to the first one. So if you want to know how to build on cliff lots and you don't already, you can check those out and learn for yourself. And you can also sort of understand what I'm doing here a little bit more, because they do explain sort of exactly sort of how it works and the basics behind the concept of how you build on a cliff lot. So you can see around the front of the house, or sort of where it's flat up the top, it looks just like a regular sort of foundation. Then obviously around the back of the house where the cliff is, you can see the 3 different levels that sort of appear there, which is why I love building on cliff lots, because it's just fun. And that's why I included so many cliff lots in this world, because there aren't that many in the game as a whole, or like in the default worlds or in the sort of store worlds. There aren't that many cliff lots that they've included. So I did like tons in in this world. So there's plenty more builds to come. As you saw Nate Bay a little while ago, which was that sort of other large cliff lot house. That was on a cliff lot, obviously, and that was a lot of fun to build as well. I love building a cliff lot. It just allows you to do a lot of cool things. So this is the upper level. I'm just designing the sort of exterior of the house and what I want it to look like. Right now, I had no idea other than I wanted it to be on a cliff and have 3 levels. Because as you can see, right now it's just a big square. Like all the levels are just square, and there's nothing special about them. But that does obviously change as we move through the build, and I decide what I want to do. Because normally what I would do with a house is like I normally never really have a plan before I start building. I just start putting down walls. But with this cliff lot, because I needed to build the lower areas first to be able to build this upper area, I sort of just did a big square first, and then I sort of carved out the shape later on, if that makes sense. Anyways, just doing the sort of porch fencing, which requires university life. There's a few university things in here, and a lot of the windows are supernatural. I think there's some pets in here as well. I don't know. All the requirements, as always, will be listed on my site. I will put the house up for download tomorrow after the second part of the build, so get excited for that. So you can download it for Aluna Island. This is being built on lot number 3 in the world, which, as you know, is called 7 Seaward Walk. So yeah, I'm just designing the sort of rear of the house now on the cliff, trying to make it look kind of interesting, and trying to figure out how I want to do the roof. And all that kind of stuff. Because like I said, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just building, having a good time, trying to figure out what was up or what was down. So at the moment, you can see it's like fairly basic. The back actually does remain fairly basic, but the way I sort of give a bit of detail to it is through the sort of all the roofs and the colors of the wallpaper and the windows and all that kind of stuff. And we do have a nice deck area out the back here. It does increase in size a little bit later, actually quite near the end of the, pretty much near the end of the building portion anyways. It increases in size. And then that deck area is just used for sort of like a barbecue, outdoor dining, a couple of lounge chairs, and a hot tub as well, which is Quite fancy. I would love to have a hot tub. That'd be pretty cool. So I just shifted along the upper level so it lines up with that lower pitched roof I have down there. It just makes it look a little bit neater. Just getting the porch roofing there. I needed to put flooring in there so that I could actually put a roof on top of it, because the game doesn't let you put roof on top of things that don't have support, which is kind of annoying, but there you go. This is something that did take me a little, I'm not sure how long it actually took me, but it took me a little bit of time to figure out how I wanted the roof. I mean, I even changed it a little bit later on. After I'd started doing this sort of interior, I was like, no, I'm going to change the roof now, because it just was not right. In other news, can you believe that it's just over 1 week now until The Sims 4 comes out? Like, it's insane. And yes, I'm still going to be doing Sims 3 builds. I'm still going to be building in Aluna Island because, like I said, and I've said many times before, I want to finish this world. Whether it takes me forever or not, I'm going to finish this world and I'm going to keep working at it, slowly hacking away day after day, getting the job done. But anyways, it's so awesome that The Sims 4 is almost out. I can't wait to get my hands on it and play it for myself again. But yeah, that'd be pretty exciting. So just as you can see, yeah, this roof definitely did take a while. I wasn't sure how long it took in this sort of sped up version, but when I was actually doing it, it took me forever to just get the roof how I wanted it. And this is almost where I'm about to figure out what I want to do with the interior, I think. I'm not, because as you'll notice, currently the lower levels, they were still the massive like square underneath. And I'm adjusting the roof again because I wasn't happy, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, okay. I thought it was going to just sort of a little bit of the adjustment of the interior. I guess that will come soon. But yeah, so I sort of cut the lower levels in half just because I don't want to use all of that space, because there's a lot of space, and the problem with it is all the back sort of area of the lot won't have any windows if you use that space. So I was like, might as well just cut it in half and leave it there in case you guys want to use it yourself. You'll see what I mean a little bit clearer later on. As you can see, that wall I've just put across there is basically the divider. So I put it in there now again, and I'm removing the other walls because that's going to be sort of unusable space, or at least it's unusable now because I've sort of removed the walls. And then I will paint it black just so you can sort of see what is usable and what isn't. So there you go. So yeah, that's what I meant by like I've made that space at the back just sort of blank, and I left it like that because it's like I didn't need to sort of level it out. And if you guys do want to use it, it's very easy to use the space. So that's why I left it there in the end. Just picking the interior floor tiles. I took a page out of the starter home I built last time because I really loved this floor, this wood texture. For some reason, I've never really used it, but now all of a sudden I love it. Like, it's used all throughout this house. Like, I probably overused it. I like overcompensated for my lack of usage of this floor tile by using it a lot in this build. But I really love it, so that's cool. Here are all this sort of like that was a supernatural door, and I'm going to use all these supernatural windows because they look really nice. I really love the look of these. I wanted to go all out on the house, make it look really nice. Because, as you know, some of the few previous houses have not been sort of massive builds, and they were never intended to be. Because, as you guys know, some of the builds in this world have to be sort of more grounded and more family orientated, or more starter home orientated. So the last few builds haven't been massively extravagant in terms of furnishing or size. That's why I wanted to go a little bit further out with this build and do sort of a few more fun things in terms of using more content and all that. Because some of the others, as you know, also I try and limit what I use. This one, I didn't really limit it. I mean, I think I held back on using some items, but I don't know how much of a difference that makes. I guess we'll see in the requirements when they get posted. So I'm just working out the floor plan now. I wanted on this top level is going to be the main living area. So it's going to be the sort of the kitchen dining room. It has a main living room, a bathroom, and a study, like a little office area. So that all goes on the upper levels. Just trying to figure out where I want the stairs. So just behind the stairs there is the bathroom, and then next to that bathroom there, where I've just put the wall, or I'm just putting it now, that becomes the office. And then I'm just going to divide up this space here. So the room I'm over. No, okay, I'm all over the place. I'm trying to work it out what I want to do clearly. All right, well, you'll see in a bit. It's a bit hard to explain while I'm sort of rotating and changing things every 5 seconds. That room at the front of the house with the sort of 2 bay window style things, that's going to be the living room. That room I'm in now with the windows I'm doing right now is the kitchen area. And then that small room off to at the back of the build currently, or where we're looking, is the dining room. But you'll definitely see all those evolve over time. And this is where I look at the roof and I'm like, nope, that's not what I want. I don't want the roof to look like that. Just because the porch roof was like sort of poking out around the other sides of the roof, so it didn't look too great. So I just sort of moved it in slightly and made it fit a little bit better. Putting a couple more windows into that room. That living room has a really weird lighting glitch for some reason. It has like weird streaky lighting. Like when it goes nighttime, it looks fine, but like you can see, you saw it there briefly. Like the shadows, there you go. The shadows on the floor there are like kind of weird. Like I don't know what's happening there with the lighting in there. It doesn't look so bad when you put the sort of room lights in and stuff later on, but it looks kind of weird at the moment. I don't know why it did that, but it just did. You know, Sims 3 being Sims 3. One thing that I am not sure whether Sims or not will do is because that bathroom there in the middle has a door on either side. I'm not sure if Sims will just start using that bathroom as a thoroughfare from the kitchen to the living room. I hope they don't, because it'd be kind of weird just to walk through your bathroom to get to the other room. But I don't know. Anyways, now we're onto the sort of exterior wall paints of the build. Starting off with some nice wooden texture, which do I change or do I leave? I can't even remember. I think I leave that. I don't know. There are some things that I couldn't decide on what I wanted to do precisely. I think that does stay. I think. I don't even know. I mean, I built this all today, and for some reason I can't even remember. Picking the color because, you know, down this little road, we've already had that sort of salmon-y color. We've had, I think we had blue at the, what did we have at the front? No, one of the ones was blue, but it wasn't at the front. This is more of a turquoisey sort of color for this house, which I thought looked quite nice, and it was quite colorful, and it looked quite classy in certain places as well. So I was quite happy with that choice, and I used it. And then I wanted another sort of color to chuck in there. I was going to do bricks and that, but I think did I leave it as bricks or did I change it? I don't know. We'll find out together. I love that brick texture that I've just put on there. Now I've taken it off. But the problem with it is it's so shiny and reflective that it looks really weird. Like, bricks aren't shiny or reflective unless you've like gone out of your way to polish them, which I don't think people generally do. Anyways, yeah, so I'm doing that sort of bamboo texture again in the little roof thing. I can't remember the actual name for it. The roof walls, I'm going to call them. In the roof walls. Just because I thought it goes quite nicely with the roof, and I've done that on a few of the other houses. And it goes quite nicely, yeah, so. Using this wallpaper texture again that I used on some previous houses, because obviously all the houses in this area on Seaward Walk are going to be similar styles and sort of textures and patterns. And that's why I'm sort of trying to bring them all together. It's going to be I want this world, because the problem I find with a lot of the worlds in just like the EA have made, or like the store made worlds or that kind of stuff, is that they don't really tend to have really themed sort of areas where the houses like match, sort of like, you know, like a typical suburban area where you have similar styled houses and all that. I thought that'd be kind of cool to do in the Seaward Walk area, and then obviously in other areas of the world as well, we'll do similar styled houses and all that. And that's the other wallpaper texture I'm using there. Yeah, that's what I changed the bricks to at the front, isn't it? I just missed it myself, but that's what I did. And just painting all that lower sort of cliff facing area down there as well. I really do like the look of this load, actually, because it's really quite conservative. It's not like, you know, Nate Bay was very modern and all that, but this is just like, it's just a house. It just looks like a house, you know, just built on a cliff. It's a regular house built on a regular cliff. I mean, it's a little bit more than a regular house, because it's quite large. I think it ends up being a 5-bedroom, 3 or 4 bathroom. I think it's a 3 bathroom. Or is it a 4 bathroom? I think it might be 4 bathrooms, actually, because there's 1 on the top level, and there's 2 on the middle level. I don't know. I've got no idea. We'll see. Just adjusting the sort of landscape on the cliff here to make it fit a little bit better. And I think this is where I add in the sort of jetty. I add in like a jetty that has like a little gazebo out the front, like out in the waterfront, which I think is really cool, because I've seen them I've seen them used in like real life. You know, like you have a jetty that goes all the way out, then you have like this little gazebo and a couple of seats out there, so you can just go out there and sit out on the water. I think that would be so awesome to have like in real life. Be able to just have your own jetty to go out and sit on and just chill, you know. As long as there's Wi-Fi on it, then I'll be cool. Check my Twitter feed on on the jet. What am I even talking about? Anyways, just doing the stairs down here. I actually do change these stairs to two squares wide, because I felt like 1 square wide wasn't enough. Because if you have more than one sim heading anywhere, it would just be a bit of a traffic jam. So I changed that up in a little bit. Anyways, here's the jetty. It's 3 squares wide. So it's quite large, and then it goes out and into like a sort of a little square pattern at the end there. But I do add a few details to it, I think, as well, which I guess I'm doing now. But I think I have to move it back a little bit. Yeah, then I move it back so it fits properly. Yeah, anyway, so then I do like a little kind of gazebo thing on the end, or not. I guess I was about to, but then oh wait, no, I'm back again. Yeah, so I'm just doing this little gazebo thing, just sort of make it look a little bit more, detailed, a little bit more fancy, and make it look generally nice overall. So there's our first column. There's no fences on this, by the way, because it's just out over the water. They don't tend to have fences on them anyways, at least not the ones I've seen. So it's just a nice sort of one with nature sea jetty. Let's go sit out there. I think that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool to have. And then I sort of fix up this little area here because it's a little bit janky. So I'm just messing around with all the terrain tools and all of that, getting it to work a little bit nicer. And then I think this is also where I go and change the chairs. Go change the stairs color. And then eventually, I think we get into the floor plan of the other levels because we haven't even done those yet. But the other levels are pretty much just bedrooms. All the sort of living room stuff is on the very top level, or the ground floor level, I guess. And the level -1 and -2 are bedrooms. Pretty much is the way it works. Just making those match the color of the sort of fence on the deck up the top there, because it had a weird sort of off-whitey cream color, which didn't look too bad, but it just didn't match the sort of deck area. I was going to do sort of floor tiles walking down there, but it didn't really fit or look good. So I used like a sort of terrain paint instead, because I thought it looked a little bit nicer using those sort of stepping stones there. As you can see, I've just painted them in. And then I just go around and do a little bit of terrain painting around the lot, sort of make it look a little bit sort of more detailed and a little bit more natural in certain spaces, especially around this little beach area. It's a little bit blue, like that sort of blue sand texture sort of seeped above the water level a little bit there, which isn't necessarily a good thing. But if that's easily fixed by just painting over it real quick. Sort of more beachy down there now as well. And just chucking all the windows. And then I think we're about to head into the final stage of the build, wherein we still do the final windows. I think we do a floor plan, and I think we do the landscaping now as well. I'm not entirely sure because I did split this build in two, so some things I might come back to later. I'm like, oh, I forgot to do this, or I'm not entirely sure what exactly is in this, but I know at the beginning of the next episode we start furnishing. So I guess we'll see what's happening together. I guess we're doing a floor plan because it looks like I'm about to do a floor plan. Yep. That's exactly what I'm doing. Trying to figure it out. Because initially it was going to... Because I was going to have... I don't know. I was just trying to figure it out because I wanted a couple bedrooms there. But then I realized that how big the bedrooms are. Like they're very big. Like there's nothing against that. But I always feel like if I make rooms in The Sims 3 like too big, they just feel really, really empty. So I like to get a nice balance between sort of like cozy and medium-sized rooms. Not too small, not too big, just right. So that's the lower level we're doing now. Just getting the sort of... Because at this point in time, I hadn't figured out how I want to... See, look, those bedrooms are massive. I wasn't sure where I wanted to do the master bedroom. I did... Because initially, I wanted to get another sort of living space somewhere. But that didn't end up happening because there just wasn't enough room to get another living room. So the only living room in the house is on the top level. I mean, there is a spot on the very bottom level in the end that is just sort of like a little sofa and a bookcase and that kind of stuff. So there's more sitting areas, but they're not really like living rooms with TVs or anything like that. But you could certainly make one of the bedrooms into that because there's quite a lot of space sort of spare there. Or you could even extend into the back of the house where I've left it blank for you guys. Sort of in all that sort of black area at the back there. As you can see, even with those bathrooms, I extended myself because I was like, I need a bit more space here. So I extended out the back there a bit. Now I've removed them, but that's all I'm saying. So I think we must do landscaping in the next part then, I think. Unless we squeeze it in right at the end, but I'm not sure. Anyway, so you're just getting the final sort of floor plan or basic floor plan stuff in, just getting the color of the tiles I want to work with for the kitchen and the bathrooms. I thought that was a really nice sort of light brown color. I really enjoyed it. It's quite nice. But anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this build. I will see you in the next part, which will be up tomorrow, and the download will be up tomorrow as well. So have an awesome day.